Well, welcome everybody. My name's Jackie Brashar, author of Tessa's Books of Elegance. And today I have with me Jenny Old. And Jenny is a twice published author, a nurse and mother, and much more. And just to quote from Back of Beyond, which is one of Jenny's books, it says, "We started with nothing. We lived in a shed while we built our home, brick by brick. I created a garden from scratch. We took a virgin lump of land in the middle of nowhere and turned it into a thriving, working cattle property." Wow. Welcome, Jenny Old.
Thank you, Jackie. That sounds impressive, doesn't it?
It does. That's amazing. I'm like, I don't know if I would say you're a jillaroo or a, property developer. I was like, I'll leave that up to you, I think, to say. Everything.
I'm a jillaroo of all trades. Jillaroo of all trades, yes.
Yeah, for sure. That's right. And the way, because I've got both of your books, and just the way you write to me is just so vivid, as I've said before. It takes you right there, like I'm actually there experiencing it. Like, it's amazing how you write. Did you always know that you could write this well?
No, I've learned so much along the way, especially about descriptions. I'm a bit of a speed reader myself, and Rick said I do everything 99% perfectly. There's that 1%. So I've learned about descriptions, painting the pictures, which I didn't do initially. I'd skip over things. Right. So now I've learned a lot more about having to paint the picture for the reader and describe people and their personality and their looks. And so I've learned a lot along the way. No, I didn't always write well.
Did you enjoy writing before the books, or?
Always loved writing, loved English, always wrote when I was young, little ditties and limericks and poems, and always knew I wanted to write, but I didn't know, I just didn't have that future goal. But when we arrived at McAllister at that lump of dirt, I knew I had my story there.
Oh, so you knew then?
I did. I knew that was my story. Yes.
That's fantastic. That's wonderful. So, and now going to the other book, Innocent Nurses Abroad. So when you were single and working as a nurse overseas and in Australia, did anything prepare you through that journey for marrying Rick and moving to the Gulf of Carpentaria?
No, I came from such a, not a privileged, but a very comfortable lifestyle with a protective father on a farm. And, going out to help him was sitting in the ute, chatting to him and then having morning tea with him and then going home. Whereas I was thrown on a horse for 14 hours the first day. I think I was at McAllister, and in a paddock of 80 square miles. And I thought, I'm never going to survive this. So no, nothing prepared me. But I think when you're young and in love, and I always had that adventurous spirit, love gets you through, doesn't it?
It really does. That's just reminds me, actually, that is so true. It's just like when you're in love and young, it's just like, doesn't matter. We can do it. It's so true. That's good to be reminded.
Yes, 51 years on, yes.
So I was thinking about it and the hardships you endured, and also with your Innocent Nurses Abroad. And when I hear people complain today, of all ages, I won't just say it's teenagers, it's all ages, I hear complaints. You think of what you went through, and I would be thinking, you have no idea. They have no idea what it must have been like, or what hardship was.
Yes, you're right, Jackie, and I do tend to think, "Oh, toughen up, princess." It's not a very good attitude, but I have 6 grandchildren, and the eldest one is 19 and the youngest is 8. So the elder ones have read the book, and they were amazed because they had no idea. And you tend not to say, "Oh, in my day, I didn't have electricity," or whatever. But it gave them such an insight into their father's lives as young boys, and they're really interested. And some of the younger ones have actually listened to the audiobook. But I think too, even when nursing in those days, God, we worked hard. Whereas I think a lot of the nursing now is very technical. I think they're very advanced in their knowledge. A lot of paperwork. Oh my gosh, we had an order book and that was about it. Yeah, things are different, but times move on. But I did think that the message from probably Back of Beyond more than Innocent Nurses, though that one too, is look, life throws curveballs at you, but it's how you deal with it. Just get up, move on, dust yourself off. And we've all had ups and downs in our lives. And it's how you deal with it that counts. And I hope that's the message that I can get through.
That's absolutely true, because that was my next question. What do you want people that don't know you to take away from, well, both books really? And I also think it's a part of history as well. It's a part of Australian history, from both of your books. I really felt that. So I don't know if you agree, but to me it was to read.
I do. Thanks, Jackie. I do, because I think times will never be like that again for nursing, for traveling overseas as we did. I mean, that year was when I knew I had my second book. They were two of the probably most exciting, amazing, different times of my life. And traveling will never be the same as we did it then, ever, especially now. So I think it is history, and nursing's different now, and communication's different now. You know, we wrote letters, that was our communication. So yes, I think it is a part of history that should be remembered.
That's wonderful. That's excellent. Yeah, I went into a store probably 4 years ago and asked for some writing paper, and the girl said, "What's that?" It's like, what?
Well, I loved it when I received your first two books from my little granddaughter, and there was this beautiful writing paper in there, and she loved it.
Oh, that's excellent.
Special. Yes, it's a beautiful idea.
I think we should keep it alive somehow, because it used to be so exciting to get mail in the letterbox, you know, and open it up, and there's the person's handwriting, and yeah, I enjoy that.
I do too, and I had the same experience. I went into a news agency when we were traveling for some little thank you notes, because every time I did an author talk, I would send them a little thank you note. I couldn't find them, the same as you. Yeah, different.
I see. And I noticed in Back of Beyond there was a corned beef recipe, and we're gonna buy a fire pit and try it out. And I just thought, have you thought of a recipe book from your days?
That's a funny story, because when Allen and Unwin republished my book and re-edited it, they said, look, we want some recipes scattered through at appropriate times. And of course, I was cooking for 12 to 24 people up there, so I had no idea of quantities. And you know, I had a great big steamer pot for the corned beef, and I'd throw a whole brisket in and a couple of handfuls of salt. And they said, we need, so don't follow that recipe, is what I'm saying. Yeah, we need measurements, Jenny. I'm going 4 handfuls of coarse salt. And how many, you know, how many mixed herbs? And I have this big thing like this of mixed herbs.
Oh, really?
So be careful of that recipe, is all I say. I really put a footnote in, do not use this recipe. It'll still work, but that was so funny when they said to me, we want 6 recipes. Because the other thing I did was multiples of 4 or 6, or I didn't even follow a recipe.
Well, it all sounded, pardon?
Good luck. I'll send you an email of a good recipe.
Thank you. I was actually just going to try it as is.
It'll work.
So what has been your proudest moment so far as an author? Or one of?
I think, as an author, I mean, your proudest moments when you hold your babies in your hand or you're married, but my proudest moment was holding that original book, McAllister, in my hands, because I don't think I ever in my wildest dreams thought it would happen. You know, I talked about it. It took 10 years of talking and then 1 year of work. And there was Ocean handing me this book, and the smell of it, and there were boxes and boxes of them. I honestly think I did it. I'm now not a housewife. I'm a published author.
Excellent. And your family would have been very supportive too, I'd imagine.
They were really very proud, I think, particularly of McAllister, the first one. I think that really was great. Yes.
And I saw you did a post. There's the people that are living there now. You did a bit of a post on that.
That was amazing. This is connections, isn't it, through the internet and through being an author. I received a beautiful message and a photo of that lovely young couple from the young man's grandmother saying, I have visited McAllister many times. This is my grandson. He's living there and managing it for the bigger station. And I replied to her, and then she said, I love walking through the house and having read your book and looking at the homemade bricks and this and that. And then I received another beautiful message and a photo of a sunset from the young man's mother. And she said, I sit on the terrace and look at the sun go down and think of you. And, oh, I was quite nostalgic. It was beautiful.
Yeah, that's so
lovely.
That's so special. It really, really, really is. We lived in a house for 21 years, and it just we haven't got the same, obviously, from, you know, with we've got a lot of memories there, but just to have the same from the owners that are there now, it just would be so lovely. But unfortunately, it's not like that. But I can see how that would be really special to have that feedback.
I just looked at that lovely young couple and thought, yes, that's so nice that they're there and they're loving the sunset and they love the cattle, love the things we did. So that was nice.
Beautiful. Yeah. So what does success mean to you as an author, I'll say?
I think success means being consistent, never giving up. We're so lucky having the mentorship with Ocean, because I've had to adjust myself amazingly into this internet world, and I've lost the personal contact with the author talks, and that's where I'm most successful. So I think to be successful, I've got to keep doing what Ocean suggests, keep pushing myself. And I know it's a slower burn and a slower road, but I know in the long term. So that to me is success, is pushing myself way beyond. I mean, my son came downstairs one day, because he lives upstairs to us in a separate apartment. He came down one day when I was obviously harassing the computer in no uncertain terms. And he said, Mum, you've got to, every morning when you open the computer, you've got to say, hello, computer, you are my friend. Okay. So it's been a push, but to me that is learning, it's pushing, it's using my brain, and I think that's success. So every little sale, every beautiful review is success.
That's excellent. And yeah, not like you say, don't give up, because I just wanted to just slam it shut and just go forget it, but you have to persevere. You really do.
Yes. Walk away.
So are there any other projects you're working on at the moment that you can talk about, or something under wraps? Or
look, I am. It's very exciting. It's a bit out there, because we're traveling in the caravan at the moment, and we've got the big sign on the back of the van, and we've sold a few books, but because it's so cold, everyone's tucked up in their little capsules, so it's not about meeting people. So I started writing a fiction. It's not a historical fiction, but it's a romance. And it's been in my head for a long time, but I didn't actually recognize it as a book. And I might never publish it. I'm sure Ocean will have something to say about that. But I have written 10,000 words, and it's so different to writing nonfiction, because you can just it's just going. I don't know where it's going, but every day it goes somewhere, and it's fascinating. So I'm loving that.
That's exciting. Can't wait. I really hope you publish it. I mean, I love a romance. So.
And no, so do I.
Yeah, no, that's very exciting. And I was thinking, you know, with your books, wouldn't it be wonderful to do like a mini series? I mean, I just think that would be fantastic to follow, you know, the young Jenny Single going through McAllister. I just think that would be fabulous, because it's based on history as well.
Well, that's interesting you say that, because my very good friend Donald MacDonald, who's also an author, an actor, a playwright, he helped me write McAllister, helped and edited it. And he has written the manuscript for a TV series, and he tucked it in the drawer 2 years ago, and it is now with a filmmaker who's very interested.
Yes, so exciting. That's so exciting.
Yeah. The filmmaker said, I've read the manuscript for the TV series, I love it, because they're looking for Australian stories. He's now reading back at Beyond, and then he said, I'll set up a Zoom meeting.
Wow.
So,
oh my gosh, that is awesome. That's so fantastic. Because I was thinking that would be a mini series I would watch, because that's so interesting, the progression of it and everything that's happened to you. I mean, that sounds awesome. That's so great.
I know, but the trouble is, Donald, who wrote the manuscript, he said we need more confrontation and sex in it. So I said, well, you can just based on a true story, do what you like. Isn't that exciting, though? Ocean knows.
Oh, that's so exciting. Oh, that's really wonderful. Yeah, keep us all updated.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
So lastly, if you could just tell everybody where they could find your books.
Yes, I don't have a copy. It's in the car. www.jennyold, as you know, ld.com, or through oceanreefpublishing.com.
Thank you so much for today, Jenny. It's been excellent talking to you, and yeah,
Thank
just
you.
wonderful. Wonderful to see you.
Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to receiving your third book because I love your books, as does my little granddaughter. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your support, and talk soon.
Will do. Thanks, Jackie. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.